We all know the carnivore diet has its perks, but is that the key to losing weight? And is that the key that Nikocado Avocado and Hungry Fat Chick is using to lose weight? Now, there's been a lot of speculation, and I think Hungry Fat Chick came out and said that she's indeed doing the carnivore diet. Here's the thing about the carnivore diet. You are getting a lot of benefits of protein, right? You're getting a lot of benefits from getting a little bit of creatine production, depending on what type of meats you're eating, right? You get the benefits of getting a lot of good fats in your diet, depending on what meat source you are eating, right? If you're eating a lot of fish, a lot of omega-3s. If you're eating a lot of red meat, you might get some omega-9s, depending on what fat content, what particular meat you're getting that from. Now, here's the caveat. If you go on an all meat diet, that means you're not going to be getting other resources like certain carbohydrates that you need to be putting in your diet, right? Certain vitamins like vitamin K and shit you get from eating greens, and iron and fiber, shit you get from eating grains and nuts, right? Now, you can supplement that in a multivitamin, which I hope people do that if you're going to go on an all carnivore diet. However, I still wouldn't recommend you do that if you are obese and you're trying to lose weight. And the reason being, when you come off that carnivore diet, if you still have sugar cravings, if you still have other unresolved issues that you might have a binge problem, because a lot of times you gain weight by binging, eating, snacking throughout the day, or eating a lot of calories that you don't think that you're consuming, but you are consuming. And I talk about that here in a second. Then you're going to have a problem when you start to introduce carbohydrates back into your diet, when you start to introduce, let's say, certain foods that's very rich in fat back into your diet, like peanut butter, for example. I recommend that if you're trying to lose weight, I just covered this in my supplementation video. If you're trying to lose weight, look at it as a pie group, right? Like a pie chart, okay? You want to take at least, if you're trying to lose weight, you want to keep your protein intake high. I'll go as high as 80% for an obese person. Keep it about 80%. Have the rest in carbs. I say very well the rest, about 5% in carbs. And I'll say 10 to 15% in in fat intake. Well, why is that? Well, when you increase your protein, you're going to increase fats. That comes with the territory sometimes. You can get away with cutting your carbs down low, but not ingesting carbs because you have enough fat on your frame, and the body would turn to fat stores for energy if you're in a calorie deficit. And that's how you lose weight. You need to be in a calorie deficit. You keep your protein high because you will have muscle underneath all that fat. Because if you're moving around with 400 pounds on your frame, right, you're bending down to pick up shit, and you can still be mobile at a 400-pound person, you have some muscle under all that fat. So you don't want to lose that muscle, because that muscle, believe it or not, is working very hard to support your weight on your frame, to help you move. Your back muscles, you can bend down as far as you can to pick up shit. Not so much in the arms and chest maybe, but your legs and back, you got some muscle. So you don't want to lose that, so you keep your protein stores high. And protein keeps you satiated, and protein is essential for body function. Not just muscle repair, but for brain and organ functions as well, okay? You need protein, so you want to keep that high. Cut your carbs down low. I wouldn't necessarily cut them out completely. You want to eat vegetables. You want to eat fruits. Remember fructose, that is a sugar, but you want to eat fruits because fruits is a complex carb. It has other vitamins, essential things in them that you can use, like fiber and shit, in certain vegetables and fruits. So you need to focus on eating vegetables, maybe certain fruits, right, to keep some carbs in your diet, okay? But the fats, you want to increase the fats a little bit because you'll be in a calorie deficit, but you still want to hit a certain calorie number. Fats is very dense in calories, right? And they're not very dense foods, but they're high in calories. So 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, It's about 190 to 200 calories, depending on what type of peanut butter you get. Well, if you say are running short of where you need to be to be a comfortable deficit, you just eat you a tablespoon of peanut butter. That's your fats for the day. If you don't want peanut butter, get some hemp seeds. 3 tablespoons of that on a 0 calorie Greek, well, not 0 calorie, but on say yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. Sprinkle some of that on there. Take a little bit of protein powder, your favorite choice protein powder. Sprinkle that on there. Stir it all up. That still come out to be about maybe 250, 260 calories. If you're about 300 calories short of where you need to be to have a comfortable deficit margin, right, from your maintenance level as an obese person to try to lose weight, you can manipulate it like that. You don't want to keep your carbs high, and I stress this a lot. The body uses carbs for energy. So if you put a lot of carbs into the body, into your blood system, right, into your bloodstream, okay, the body's going to turn to that for energy. It's going to go to that source. So when you digest carbs get into the muscle. It helps muscle function and all that, right? If you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to burn those calories off and you want to use up the fat stores, well, if you have that available energy already in the bloodstream, guess where it's going to go? It's going to go to that particular source first. However, if you keep that low and you keep moving and you're staying hydrated, the body would then turn to fat. Even in a deficit, you can make it harder to lose weight if you are steadily putting sugar in your diet from carbohydrates, because the body runs on sugar, the brain runs on sugar, muscle runs on sugar. So you don't want to keep giving your body a lot of sugar, so you cut the carbs down, you keep the sugar intake low, and you let the body use the fat stores. That's how you're going to lose weight and stay hydrated. That's why I would tell Nick Avocado and Beauty Beauty. Now, I've been watching some of not Beauty Beauty, my Hungry Fat Chick. But I would tell Beauty Beauty the same thing too. But I've been watching some of my Hungry Fat Chick's content, and it looks like she's eating from multiple food sources, not just an all meat carnivore diet. But she needs to do more activity as well if she's gonna try to lose weight. Nick Avocado lost weight. Now, I'm pretty sure if Nick Avocado don't stop these mukbangs, she's going to gain it back and then be crying like the bitch that he is. But for the meantime, he is slowly losing weight. So that is a win-win no matter how you look at it, right? He might be an asshole and a lying, narcissistic son of a bitch, but he's losing fucking weight. And I think that's good. He needs to lose a lot more. That's good. But that's how you can manipulate calories to lose weight. Protein and fats go hand in hand. Carbs, you can do mainly without when you're obese. Not saying don't ingest carbohydrates. The body needs carbs. It don't need them, but it uses them if you're eating healthy carbs, like say fruits and veggies, grains and wheats, even a nut, a peanut. Oh my God. Even like walnuts and peanuts. That's a fat, but there are some carbs in a peanut and a walnut. It's a seed, it's a fat. So mainly fats, but you got fiber and all that other shit that goes with that shit, right? So those are complex carbs. You want to stay away from high processed carbs, like, French fries with McDonald's, or hamburger buns, like hamburgers from Burger King. I'm not saying you can't have a hamburger, but when you eat bread, that's a high processed carb. Even bread with wheat in them. I like eating multi-grain wheat bread, but I know that's a processed carb. That's going to spike my sugar. It's going to raise my insulin once it digests. And when that happens, a lot of times you get hungry. You'll get hungry. And if you start to eat a lot of carbs, especially a lot of sugar with carbs, because carbs digest as sugar, believe it or not, you'll build what we call insulin resistance. The pancreas will sense this, the brain will tell the pancreas, via from the liver, they all communicate, right? And the pituitary gland, they all will agree, hey, this person is ingesting a lot of sugar and this bitch is obese. We need to cut down on the amount of sugar that we can produce and keep the body functioning as a whole. Now, this is just retarded down terms. But what happens is you'll build up an insulin resistance because the body's trying to protect itself. So the pancreas, which regulates your sugar, And the pituitary gland and the liver will all be in accordance with one another. And the brain like, hey, shut down the production of insulin because this motherfucker is getting a lot of insulin from outside sources. And you can be skinny and get diabetes, but that's because you built up an insulin resistance from eating a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of sugar. So you don't want that. So that's why you keep your carbs at a certain level. Even when you're gaining weight, I will still say no more than 20% carbs. If you're trying to maintain the quote Greg you said, and you're trying to do a body recomp, I keep your carbs around 10 to 15%. Keep your fats around 10%, but keep your protein high. Keep your proteins about 70% on a body recomp. If you're trying to gain weight because you're trying to put on some mass and because you're skinny, protein about 70, maybe 80%. At this point in time, I will still keep carbs about the same, but I will probably push them to about 20% because you're trying to build muscle, right? So that means you're doing a lot of weightlifting. So you can use that energy from carbs. So 70, 20, fats about 10%. And if you want to knock down the protein because you're finding that eating all that protein is causing you to have a little bit of digestive issues, knock it down to about 60, increase the fats about maybe another 10% to make up those calories. Boom, there you go. You will start to build muscle and put on weight. You need to be in a surplus anyway, so just manipulating your fats like that increases the calories just like that. So therefore, you can put on some fucking goddamn muscle and weight. You just don't want a dirty bulk and you don't want to be in too much of a calorie surplus. So that's my advice for hungry fat chick, kind of on anybody that's trying to lose weight that is obese. The carnivore diet does have its perks, but I wouldn't go all in on the carnivore diet if you haven't addressed certain binges and certain things you get from eating carbohydrates when you reintroduce them back into your diet, as well as certain fats. Because there are a lot of foods that have good fats in them, like peanut butter. Peanut butter's sweet, but it's very calorie dense, like I said, that will cause you to put the weight back on tenfold if you're not careful. Hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed the videos for today, guys. I'm pretty much done. I got client stuff I got to do and programs I got to type up. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see y'all Friday on the next full body workout video.